Let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are unpacking the absolute ultimate fix for communicating your true value in job interviews. Because, let's be honest, if you've ever walked out of an interview feeling like the hiring manager just didn't really get your worth, this is 100% for you. Today, we're going to dive deep into the art of proving your professional value through a remarkably straightforward but honestly incredibly powerful concept: show, don't tell. Now, I want you to consider this phrase for a second. I am a hardworking person. Really think about that. This is, without a doubt, the single most instinctual default phrase candidates use to sell themselves. It's right up there with saying, oh, my biggest weakness is that I just care too much. It's basically the default setting for almost everyone when the pressure is on. It feels safe, right? It feels exactly like the kind of thing an interviewer wants to hear from a prospective employee.
But hold on, we really have to pause here and ask a critical question. Is this conventional piece of interview wisdom actually helping you? Or is it actively hurting you? Well, the reality is this seemingly safe answer is literally destroying your chances. You might think you're scoring major points by saying it, but by just stating you're hardworking, you are doing the exact opposite of standing out. So let's look at exactly why this backfires so predictably.
I want you to put yourself in the shoes of the hiring manager sitting right across the desk from you. 200. That is how many times they have heard this exact, completely meaningless phrase this week alone. Literally every single candidate says it. And because everyone says it, the phrase completely loses its weight. You immediately blend right into this massive sea of identical, totally forgettable applicants.
Because when you say, I am hardworking, you're telling them absolutely nothing. You're just filling the air with empty buzzwords. Our human brains naturally tune out unverified claims, especially, and this is absolutely crucial, especially when an interviewer is dealing with massive interview fatigue. You haven't demonstrated your value at all. You've simply asked them to just take your word for it, leaving absolutely zero memorable mark. Now, what's really interesting about the contrast we're looking at here is how we actually fix this problem. Over on one side, we have our completely useless buzzword, but on the other, we replace it with a powerful one-line story, rebuilt the entire back end in 48 hours. See what happened there? We are completely shifting from telling to showing. You're no longer asking for their blind trust. Instead, you're handing them undeniable, concrete proof right out of the gate. Just listen to how this actually sounds in practice. During my final year project, I rebuilt the entire back end in 48 hours after our original approach failed the day before the deadline. Notice the difference? That single, highly specific sentence does way more heavy lifting in 10 seconds than saying, I am hardworking does in an entire lifetime. It naturally implies resilience, speed, capability, and grace under pressure. And it does all of that without a single empty adjective.
And this brings us to a real universal paradigm shift for your career. We'll call it the golden rule of interviews, and it goes like this. Never, ever state a quality about yourself that you cannot immediately back up with a specific example. It really is that simple. If you can't attach a concrete, real-world story to the adjective you're about to use, drop it completely. You've got to start adopting this rapid-fire framework for every single trait you want to highlight. You say you're hardworking? Prove it. You're a fast learner? Prove it. A team player? Prove it. One sentence, one example, every single time. You need to force yourself to find that one-line story that proves your claim before the interviewer even has a chance to blink.
So, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with a bit of a challenge. Take a look back at your last interview, or honestly, just scan your resume right now. What is that one go-to, completely empty adjective you always catch yourself using? Identify it, scrap it entirely, and rewrite it into a specific, undeniable one-line story. Stop telling people your value and start showing them. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Now go out there and put this rule into action.